Welcome back to the channel, guys, your home of hopium-free crypto and economic market cycle updates. Today's video, we are covering the trend of Bitcoin and cryptos as some of these have started to break down from their critical support levels, and we need to update Bitcoin and the weakening structure at the moment, especially with a lot of the major high-impact news announcements coming out this week. So what does that mean for crypto today and for the rest of the week? I've been released from the basement backgrounds and we're not in the kitchen anymore. This time we are with grandma curtains and wardrobes behind me. I'm in a new city of Greece. So smash up the likes for the background changes, subscribe if you haven't already, and Coinly, there are still those 100 free reports that you guys in Australia can get. And if you're anywhere else around the world, it's up to 30% off your tax returns using the link in the video description. It is a video sponsor, so make sure you check out that link down below, 100 free reports. And of course, all you got to do is go sign up in the top right or click calculate my taxes in the bottom left. You are met with this screen here. Put in your details, create an account. That's simple to get your crypto taxes looked at already. So the main thing we're going to look at today is go over the weekly analysis, update the Bitcoin charts, ETH, and Solana, which has started to break down. So we'll look at that at the end. Nice, succinct, quick video. We've got a lot of high impact news announcements this week. You will start to hear, if you haven't already, Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. Basically, the big guys just talking about our future. They're going to be talking about finance, of course. You can see here, every year the symposium focuses on important economic issues that faces world economies. Participants include prominent central bankers, finance ministers, as well as academics, etc. Okay, so this is what's happening this week. It's going to be the headlines for the news. There's a few Fed announcements as well coming out this week, and then we saw early trading on Wall Street and of course Asia as well. Some of these things are just not sure what they want to do just yet. But you may have seen in the title that I'm looking at this as being the news already released, because the big guys are all talking to each other before they release the news to us. So they're acting on the news. That's why we receive the news, so that we get it late and we act on the news after they've already acted on it. What I'm talking about here is the trend for BTC. Now I want to look at the weekly trend, but first up, let's have a look at the daily trend. A weekly closed, that's important to look at. But in terms of the daily, this has already been down. Of course, we had a big shock bar that came out on the 19th after some more info from the US last week, but the news was already there in a very small sense. Using the Gann swing indicator here, this tool here, links in the video description as well, the main thing here is the swing was already down, which was showing us that the trend was down. And all that had to happen next was the rest of the information to come out from the sources. So that's all that needed to happen to force that down a little further. And it happened so much quicker on more volume because the trend's already down. It's like pushing that car down the hill or that big rock down the hill. It starts to get momentum, and then all that's needed is that extra push. The push is the news release, and then the public catching on to that, and then you get the dump. So we're still setting up, or we're still in a downtrend. It's a confirmed downtrend on the daily. You can see the yellow line here gives you a lower top, and it connects to the next lower top. Right now we have a slightly higher bottom, but the day hasn't closed. So give it another 8.5 hours and we'll start to see where this forms. We are closing under the 50% at the moment. We really needed to get above that quite soon. I'd say probably in the next 24 to 72 hours or so. This is on Bitcoin to show us some strength, because we have come up to the double bottom here on that critical level of 20,700. So the market basically needs to form that base soon to then have a chance of retesting those higher prices. The level I'm looking for is approximately $23,000. That's the 50% from the current low to the cycle, or this short-term bear market relief rally top, and that was at 25,200. So the midway point is about 23K. The market needs to recover there in order to get back to that 25 and then test the 30s and the 33s, which would then start to put us back into a more macro position, a strength in a macro position. Okay, so right now it's still quite weak. I think that if we don't see, this is my opinion now, if we see some more of this news come out, it's uncertain, it's slightly bad, we'll probably test these lower prices. This 20,700 I think needs to be tested now that we are all the way back down here. And the icing on the cake for the downside is that the weakness is already starting to show. So we're just not getting that follow through just yet. The good side to this is, if we can spin it back to a macro picture for people wanting to DCA, last week's video, this is looking at the picture of August and September. These videos here, I'll leave a link to them at the end of this, go into far more detail about what is happening in August and September. We were ready and anticipating a choppy time, even though we got a little bit of a relief rally here. We were expecting a choppy time based on time cycles. That's in those videos. I suggest going and checking those out. We have not seen much to the upside for the August-September periods over the course of the 12 years, so we weren't expecting it now, especially in a bear market. That was pretty straightforward. The next piece here is the cycle buy zones. So this was something I put together quite some time ago, just looking at a good area of buying Bitcoin for a DCA position, probably the best opportunities that you'll get in the bear market. So I think anything under 20K is looking like a fantastic opportunity based on how we came up with this last time, right? So this is on previous videos. We're looking at a buy signal of the entire cycle down from the top. You got a 25% level, so this is 0.25 down to 0.125. Every single cycle previously has shown that this has been a fantastic time to be buying. So you can see the cycle low comes in here, and this was the previous cycle top. Underneath the 25% is your 5,000, all the way down to about $2,600. So two opportunities during that cycle, the best opportunities. We've only just touched on that this time. We might have one more opportunity to get very close to that under that 20K, and then again, you can see that it happened in the previous cycle as well. Of course, there's only 2 data points here, but that's all we have to work with on Bitcoin at the moment. It's looking pretty good under that 25 level, $300 down to $150. So if we get down there and there's all this bad news this week and the market has started to roll over again, I see that as a great DCA opportunity for Bitcoin. So we looked at the daily in terms of strength and weakness, where those support levels are, where the strength to the upside of it is, if the market can overcome those levels. So the key areas to look out for, what's happening this week. The trend is down on the daily, so if there is any sort of slightly bad news or uncertain news, it's going to make it easier for the market to go down. That is just how the markets work. If it's already in momentum, just give it a little bit of a nudge with some of that bad news. People don't know what is going on and they start to freak out, and it just nudges it over the edge. If there's some good news, then it just doesn't go up as much. So that's where you can start to see where we're positioned in the particular cycle. Now for the weekly chart, we are in a green section at the moment, which means the trend is up, and it changed up back in mid-July as it broke the previous top, but we're only dollars away from going into an uncertain trend. So that would then make this background go into black or this light gray. You can change the color there using this Gann swing indicator tool. So this is just dollars away from breaking this swing low here. That low is at 20,706. That's why 20,700 has come up so much over the last couple of months. 20,700 to 21,700, that $1,000 range is really critical for Bitcoin. So we're very close to that. Well, we're basically trading in that range at the moment. If we break down from that, we're basically probably going to come back and test the $18,000 to $19,000 level, and it just puts Bitcoin in a weaker position in the weekly chart. So a bit more of a macro sense, it puts it into the weaker position. So Bitcoin is waiting on what's happening this week. The daily's rolled over. Are we about to see the weekly rollover? We're several dollars off that right now. So 20,761 and the low is 706. So $55. I think it's possible that we might see that this week in that breakdown, and that will turn the trend uncertain. We're still not above the bear market rally, but like I said, it sounds like bad news, but the opportunity to buy always comes at the worst possible times. The worst news, the worst market sentiment, the worst looking prices, that's the time to buy. So rather than look at it as something bearish or fuddish or whatever, this is the opportunity that we've been waiting for. And as I pointed out, and I've got more detail on the channel as well, these particular zones, these cycle buy zones, these are the opportunities that you wait for to hold on for that next extreme bull market, where I think we're about to enter that, if not now, probably in September. Let's keep tracking to see if we can get there. As for ETH, we got that pretty well on the money, 5 weeks up. We are still short of the market overbalancing to the upside, so it is still just a bear market rally. It needs to get above $2,250 for ETH to get into a much stronger position in a macro sense. There can still be a pullback. There must be a pullback. There has to be a correction. But if it can hit that target, that means we're starting to overbalance to the upside and overbalance in time. That is a very strong signal, but I believe, and you almost always you see that opportunity for the market to fall back again, and that gives us the buying opportunity. So we start to see the strength, that signal. Be patient. It can be weeks away until that market low comes in, that higher low. ETH, it's coming at 50%. It needs to hold 1,300, I think, at the worst, for that next move up to then get us to the overbalance and then pull back again. So I'm still remaining very patient with ETH. It hasn't broken that uptrend yet. We're still bear market rallies. We have time. Solana, on the other hand, is starting to break down. This on the weekly, so we're doing a weekly time analysis update. It's basically broken that previous swing bottom on the weekly chart here. So that is this bar candle right here at $34.60. So this is what we looked at last week, between $30 and $34. This is the zone now that it has to hold. I think if it breaks that, it's not looking too good for Sol. And then we have our positions, our pricing back between sort of 19 and $26 or $25 for the next support level for Sol. This week we need to stay super alert in terms of the news announcements that are coming out and how that is affecting the chart. The price is the most important. We need to look at where those support zones come in after those news announcements, because it's going to make the market very volatile. So stay tuned, subscribe, like the video up. Remember, you got those free tax reports if you're in Australia. You can score yourself that. Use the link down below and the code. And anywhere else around the world, just make sure you go and sign up using that code. You can get 30% off your tax report. So that's exclusive to this channel here. Links down below. Guys, thanks again. Let's see what happens this week. I dare say we're going to get some really good opportunities, if not the end of August, sometime in September. So don't go anywhere. Do not leave cryptocurrency now. You will regret it in a few years' time. I guarantee it. This is what happened 3-4 years ago and the years before that. All right, stay tuned. Guys, see you at the next one. Otherwise on Instagram or Twitter, showing the beautiful country of Greece. Peace out.